Hello everyone and welcome to the video. After a bombardment of preview articles and spoilers, the Circle Undone is finally released, and I'm excited to share my thoughts with you about this new deluxe expansion for the Arkham LCG. This video will contain spoilers about the plot of the scenarios presented in the Circle Undone. With that warning out of the way, let's dive right in. This expansion is the second in the Arkham LCG lineup to contain 6 investigators. While Carolyn and Marie had seen previous printings, many were unable to get a hold of these cards until now. Carolyn additionally received new artwork and her original set of signature cards. I'm going to save going in depth into the investigators individually for episodes of the Arkham Horror files, which I've already done episodes of for Carolyn, Rita, and Diana, which I'll put links to in the description of this video, but I did want to discuss them as a whole. Matt Newman and the rest of the design team have hit their stride, so to speak, when it comes to creating fun investigators to play, while still being in line with the previous cast. Whether you're the team's dedicated healer Carolyn, a well-connected millionaire, or a dual pistol-wielding private eye, each investigator in the Circle Undone truly feels unique. This expansion introduces 2 cycles of cards, the previously previewed tarot cards, as well as a set of skill cards that gain additional icons given you meet the conditions necessary. These skill cards vary in effectiveness, with curiosity and cunning, I feel, being the cream of the crop. Rogues, mystics, and survivors seem to have received the longer end of the stick in this expansion, while I feel seekers and especially guardians got the short end. The former 3 factions all received cards that interact well with the corresponding investigator, while Seekers and Guardians received more of the same. One criticism I have with this expansion is the lack of cards that heal horror. With an investigator centered entirely around this idea, it seems odd to me that FFG wouldn't give Carolyn a new tool. For newer players purchasing this expansion after buying a core set, they may find their options limited to First Aid and Fearless, which is barely enough to overcome rational thought. This problem is alleviated with an expanded card pool, but I still feel it's worth noting here. The 2 new weaknesses, the Tower number 16 and the 13th Vision, are potent but interesting and well-balanced weaknesses. I like that these cards interact with the subtle comforts of the LCG. The player cards as a whole are great additions to the existing card pool, especially for investigators like Jenny, Mark Harrigan, and Silas. If you're interested in a full-depth review of the player cards in this expansion, I suggest you check out the Arkham Chronicles video on the subject. They do a great job going over each card individually, and I feel I would just be repeating their points. I'll put a link down in the description of this video. This portion of the review is mostly drawn from my experience playing the campaign solo. I've played 1 or 2 2-player games and several runs of the scenario solo. The prologue scenario is a lot of fun, even if it can be a bit of a hassle to set up in a 4-player game. The scenario feels like a puzzle to solve before time runs out, which I really enjoyed. The scenario is also a good way to quickly teach a new player the rules and gameplay of the Arkham LCG without having to run to Gathering for the upteenth time. The writing and storytelling has also noticeably improved from the days of the Dunwich Legacy. The prologue ties into the main story in a Tarantino-esque way, which was pretty cool. Moving on to the first scenario, the witching hour. The investigators awaken from a stupor in an unknown section of Arkham's woods, where they hear strange music ahead. This scenario has one glaring issue when it comes to gameplay. Given the nature of this scenario setup, it is possible to not be able to obtain enough clues to advance the act deck. While there are rumors and solutions being floated around, FFG has not officially addressed this issue, but I would expect it to be in the next update to the FAQ. I didn't experience this myself, but I often needed to pick up every clue on each location. The scenario overall isn't too difficult, though the ending can be challenging depending on how many enemies you draw. There is a healthy amount of experience to earn in this scenario, which is a refreshing change to introductory scenarios. The story of the Witch's Coven performing a ritual at night is a welcome trope to the Arkham LCG, and the scenario provides some solid exposition and foreshadowing into future events. The final scenario, at Death's Doorstep, cuts to the investigators reading a report in the paper about 4 missing people from a charity gala held at the Silver Twilight Lodge. Once finished, they notice an invitation to the Silver Twilight Lodge sitting on their desk. Unable to ease their mind from previous events, the investigators set out to the estate in French Hill. While this scenario can be initially confusing to set up, once it's properly set up, At Death's Doorstep is among Arkham Horror's best scenarios, if not the best. The gameplay and story mesh cohesively into an experience that's unparalleled in the game to date. Reading the introduction of this scenario with some noir jazz playing in the background will make you feel like the star of a pulp detective film in a second. I would recommend fans of the game get this product solely for this scenario. I really do think it's that good. The Circle Undone is by no means a perfect product for the LCG, but it is definitely setting new benchmarks in terms of storytelling through gameplay. The flavor of this campaign resonates beautifully both in the writing and gameplay presented in the scenarios. Where the product falls short is a lack of card support for Carolyn, as well as potential oversight in the first scenario. For any veteran player, this is obviously a great purchase. The player cards open up interesting new deck archetypes and widen the investigator pool. For new players, it's hard to say if I would recommend this over Dunwich or Carcosa. Whether you're a veteran player or a beginner and want a great story told through gameplay, I couldn't recommend the Circle Undone more. I want to hear from you though. What do you think about this campaign? What is your favorite new player card? Did you experience the bug in the witching hour? Let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave it a thumbs up. If you want to stay up to date when my videos go live, hit that subscribe button to become one of the many that are lost in time and space. Thank you as always for watching, and have a great day.